It's Dave Lawrence, the Workforce Afternoon, and today we welcome a very special guest to the show for his first time ever. He is part of a legendary hard rock band that are without a doubt one of the most important hard rock and metal bands of all time. They were one of my first concerts when I was a little kid and have stood the test of time as a musical attraction. I'm looking forward to hearing about the details of Humanity Hour 1. It is a pleasure to welcome to my show Scorpions guitarist Mattias Jabs. Aloha, Mattias.
Hi, Dave. Aloha. How are you?
I am very good, and I appreciate you being willing to take a few minutes to be part of what I do out here. Thank you.
Oh, yes. Any time, and my pleasure. And it would be nice to come back to Hawaii, where we've played in 1982 and 1984. And,
good memory.
I have the best memories. Yes, especially of Hawaii. And, I also remember the extra week of vacation on Maui.
Ah.
That was excellent. Yeah. I can picture it now. Since you said, Hawaii, immediately, great.
What is, so you came on the Blackout Tour and the Love at First Sting tours.
Right.
What's your fondest memory of your time here in our state?
I remember Honolulu, not in details, but, quite well. I remember the harbor. I remember, the restaurants. I remember the hotel. And I remember the show, obviously. And then on the Love at First Sting tour, my most intense memory is obviously the week in Maui, which we spent after the show, before we were going to Japan, I guess.
Wow.
It was just fantastic. It's so far away. You couldn't get further away from where I live in northern Germany, in the heart of Europe, because it's the time zones tell you a lot already. It's 12 hours.
Sure.
It's noon where we are, it's midnight where you are, and vice versa. So you couldn't get any further away, which is a shame. And, because you have a much better climate, and everything is much better there. But, okay, what can I do? I live in Germany, and I'm touring the world.
Well, you're thought of very highly here, and the Scorps, I've only been here 5 years. They moved me from Boston to be here about 5 years ago.
Lucky you.
So I share your sentiments about weather and climate and this.
Oh, yes. Especially in the months, around Christmas.
Yeah. Boston certainly has its moments of being reminiscent of northern Germany, without a doubt.
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
Well, definitely the Scorps are very popular here. We get a lot of requests for them. It would be huge if you could bring the Humanity Hour 1 tour our way. And we've been playing the first single from the record, Humanity, quite a bit, and getting a lot of reaction to it. And when people open up the record, they can see inside that this is a concept album based around something that looks like Desmond Child came up with, legendary songwriter. Before
we even met Desmond, we were just thinking about, the new album is coming up, and what do we do? What can we do in these days, where everybody has done everything, more or less? We've been, in the recent years, we've been doing projects with the Berlin Philharmonics. We had our Acoustica project with other musicians, and for some reason I think it prepared us to think we should do a concept album. We didn't know what the concept was, but we talked about this is something we haven't done. We have to do something other than just a bunch of songs. And so when we met Desmond, he more or less had the same idea. He said something, I think Scorpions should do a concept album. And he didn't even know that we already had talked about something like this. So we were in sync right away, and we brought a bunch of songs over. And then in the before we started recording, we went into another writing session, and then into an arrangement session with various people, and it was just fantastic. And things were coming together quickly. And then we 4 weeks later went to the studio to start recording that stuff. Seriously.
Is that Paul Geary of Extreme fame that I see credited on the record?
Yes, that he is now we signed with the new management. So we found the Azov management, and he works for Azov. And then he told us he's the drummer from Extreme, and I said, I remember you, in that video, what's that famous song they had?
It's More Than Words or Wholehearted, one of those or something?
Yeah, and whatever, in the video, he's the one who has his feet up on the table because, and the bass player as well, because it's just an acoustic guitar.
Right.
So those two have nothing to do, but they're still shown in the video doing nothing, and I like that. That's him. That's Paul Geary, the ex-drummer from Extreme. He's now in the management company.
Yeah, it's crazy. When I saw that, I was like, wow, look at all these old East Coast names on this thing. From my Boston days, I remember that name well. He also, as I recall, he owned a club, too, for a while after Extreme up there in Boston. Let me throw down Humanity, and then we'll talk some more. Is that cool, Mattias?
Absolutely, yeah.
The legendary Mattias Jabs from the Scorpions and their brand new current classic, Humanity, from the record we've been talking about, Humanity Hour 1. The Scorpions and current classic Humanity from their new record, Humanity Hour 1, out and in stores now, and we've been playing it here on the Workforce Afternoon. It is Dave Lawrence, and we have Mattias Jabs, legendary guitarist from the Scorps, hanging out today on the show with us. And Mattias, what is that at the end of the tune, that like orchestrated little bit that you have there? Is that some old song, or what is that exactly?
That is something that was recorded brand new in Los Angeles with some of the best like jazz and Louisiana type musicians. This thing is actually much longer, but we edited so short and made it scratchy, made it sound like almost mono and scratchy.
Yeah.
It's like I always call it the Titanic Orchestra. The band keeps playing while the ship is sinking.
Yeah.
It's like in that movie, so... and it's
it's cool how you've done it. That's a cool bit. You know what you got to check out at some point when you're done talking to me? Check out that new Paul McCartney single, Only Mama Knows. And at the very end of it, he's got this like orchestration that uses the main riff of the tune as well. And you'll remember me bringing it up. You'll be like, they're kind of cool how they sound similar in that way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's the song called?
It's called Only Mama Knows, and it's the new one.
Mama Knows.
It's on Memory Almost Full, the new one from Sir Paul. And when you get to the end, you'll see what I'm talking about. You go, that's reminiscent of our jam.
Yeah, good.
Sir Paul.
Sir Paul.
You've done some very special gigs over the year, and some of them have been really meaningful ones in ways that go beyond the Scorpions. And one of those, which I've never heard anybody in the band really talk about, was the time that you guys did The Wall in Berlin, 1990, with Roger Waters. Where does that fit into your memory banks? And if you could just sort of share some of that with us.
That was an amazing event. I think they had expected something like 150,000 people, but I think it was like 500,000 people. And it was at the Brandenburg Gate. Back then it was nothing. It was the no man's land between East and West Germany. And we always needed like passports and visas to go to the other side of the same country, more or less. But at this point, when the wall already had come down, you just needed a backstage pass, and it was quite cool. So, and I remember we were opening the show. We were sitting in a limousine, a wide stretch American limousine, and we had a female driver, and it was like in front of us and behind the car was like Harley Davidsons and Hells Angels.
Wow.
Hells Angels. And so that was the start of the show, and they had they built like almost like a ramp that had the size of a highway in front of the stage. So we were supposed to go up on this ramp, get out of the car. Everything was timed. We had like tiny little earpieces, and the countdown was running already. And we were like, if you got 50 seconds, and we were in the car, and it was like, you got 30 seconds. And at 25, the lady was supposed to like roll, so I start rolling, but then the car wouldn't start. And so we are sitting in this, with guitars, of course, crammed into this limousine. They're not as spacious as they look from the outside. And so we're all in there, and they're trying to start the car, and then they just managed it. So she had to go faster than planned. So the Hells Angels in front, then the white limousine, then the Hells Angels in the back, and we just jumped out of the car. And as soon as I had my feet on the ground, it was like, because we heard the countdown all the time, it was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and boom! We just made it
in the flesh.
Yes, exactly. And so but it was a fantastic feeling. The whole show was amazing. The production, unbelievable. And Roger Waters is such a nice man. We really got to meet. He came to the studio we were recording. Actually, we were still working on Crazy World. Yes, we were still working on Crazy World. We were still in the studio near Amsterdam in Holland. And so he came over from England, and so we rehearsed the song. He told us how he would like it to be arranged and blah, blah. And so, it was a nice cooperation. It was great.
Man, what a hot jam that is, too, brother. You guys ripped that tune apart. And you know what's really very ironic about when you look at the lineup of folks on that gig, the Hooters, ironically, played that gig. And there's Eric Bazillion, who years later you end up being like a writing partner with.
I know. It's so funny.
That's a very strange coincidence, huh? Because you just don't hear their name that much anymore.
Exactly.
Plus, Cyndi Lauper was on that gig, who Eric wrote, a huge tune for. So.
Yeah, it was a good lineup.
It's weird the connections though that you can draw between the Scorps and some of those other folks years down the road.
Yeah, it's true.
Which I don't know. Had you ever thought of that?
No, not at this time. I'm just thinking about it now.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the cover of the record. It says the Hooters, so it's like, how weird is that? Now you're writing tunes with the guy.
Yeah, exactly. It's true.
So you've done a lot of stuff, and I'm very, very excited that I'm able to present you on the air here as a part of my show. And my first and only Scorpions show in my entire life was in the summer of '84. I was just a little kid, and somebody took me to see the Love at First Sting tour. And I so wish I could update that with a fresh experience. So I encourage you to please consider, as you've already noted, you have good memories of being here before, and we would love to have you come back, and we will strongly support any appearance that you make.
Oh, great, yeah. Because, I have to talk to Ace of Management immediately.
You do?
Sounds like a good idea. Yeah.
Talk to Paul Geary himself.
Exactly.
Say some old Boston dude's thinking about you out in Honolulu, Paul.
Yeah. We are in Boston, though, very soon. I think it's the last show on the American leg.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah, we finish in Boston.
I see it on your tour schedule. It is a pleasure getting to have legendary guitarists from the Scorpions, Rudy's partner on the guitar, and they have a great new record out, Humanity Hour 1. I encourage you to pick it up. Mattias Jabs, their legendary guitarist, thank you so much for being a part of the show with me.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure, and I'm looking forward to come to, my favorite place, Hawaii.
You'll get the red carpet welcome when you get here, brother.
Great, excellent.
I look forward to hopefully someday you guys coming out here.
Yes, I really shall hope so. We won't make it this year, but, we have planned like an extensive tour for next year, like maybe May and throughout the summer in the States. And so then we have to include Honolulu.
You've got to, man. Really. I hope that you make it your business, too, because we'd love that. We'd really love to have you here.
Right. Yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Thank you very much. That was it was great fun.
It was. It was a lot of fun talking to you, too, man. You're a really good guy, and I wish you only good things in your future.
Yeah, thank you. Same to you.
Aloha, my brother.
Okay, Dave. Thank you.
Take care.
Hi there. This is Mattias Jabs from the Scorpions, and you are listening to The Only Show That Matters with Dave Lawrence.